What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Club and Country. This is episode number 108 and we're returning today with the quarterfinals of the European Championship after making it through our group with 3 wins out of 3. Wasn't as routine as you expect though, despite the 9 points from a possible 9, beating Finland and then Italy and then the Netherlands as well. We won all 3 games by a single goal, didn't keep a single clean sheet, and I'll be honest, well, I think 9 points out of 9 sounds a bit deceptive. We really weren't that dominant in the group campaign. So heading to the quarterfinals, drawing against a very good Belgium team. As we know, Belgium over the past decade or so have got a fantastic recent history of producing young talents for the nation. Romelu Lukaku, Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, to be honest, the list goes on. I could be here all day talking about the amazing Belgian talents. And to be fair, despite those guys now being in either their late 20s or early 30s, you know, they've still got some incredible young talents coming through. Van der Voort between the sticks, Jeremy Doku. It's a really awesome Belgium team. So many amazing young talents as well. So heading to the quarterfinals here, they are a 5-star nation. Heading into this game, I thought it was going to be a very even one indeed. But after 3 straight wins in the group stage, and whilst they weren't exactly what we call convincing, I still felt we could possibly considered favourites for this one after Belgium finished runners-up in their group, whereas we topped ours with a perfect record. So in the opening 10 minutes, we had the early chances, and we would take the lead as well. Finally, the deadlock broken. I say finally, it was only 8 minutes in. We'd had all the early chances in the opening stages, and Gavin Humphreys, who was the star of the group stage, who really ran the show, man. I mean, he got 3 assists and also 2 goals as well. Man was on fire in the group, and he scored our opener of the quarterfinal as well. Ball pegged into the middle. Gavin beats Martin van der Voort, and it's his 3rd goal of the Euros so far. He was the top scorer, don't forget, of the Euro qualifying campaign, and he's already got 3 in this tournament as well. At 12 minutes in, we were absolutely putting the sword to Belgium as well. We were really dominated in the early stages, and the question was, when is our second goal going to come? Because surely keep this up at some point and we'll get it as well. We were playing some really good football in the first half an hour as well. And 15 minutes in, well, Ben Davies here might have got a little bit lucky with the deflection inside the Belgian penalty area, but blasted it way over the bar for a 3-point conversion. Despite the big miss there, I'll be honest, that second goal was coming. It was all Wales in the early stage. And 20 minutes in, after we broke from a corner, as we often do, yeah, I had to do it to him one time. Gavin scores our first, sets up the second, going for the assist title and the golden boot in these Euros, running through 1-on-1. Got a little bit lucky with the deflection going straight into the path of us on the 2-man fast break there, but we still played it perfectly. Gavin rolled through 1-on-1 through Rabbi, runs to the right-hand side, and yeah, it's a little bit of a cutback, it's a little bit of a sweat, it's a bit of a cheap goal, but it's the Euros, mate. It's the Euros. I don't care how we get the goals, so long as we do. So we're tuning up on Belgium in the first half an hour, absolutely dominating in these quarterfinals as well. Belgium hadn't really got going, but they finally woke up after got the opening 2 goals. Openda denied there by Price as we were still leading by 2, and from the corner, whipped into the middle, failed to deal with it. Jason Denayer keeps the chance alive, rolls it through to Openda, and well, I saw the net bulging there. I thought it got the goal to put Belgium back in the game. Thankfully, put it just wide. It was crazy though. It was just like one of those games where you're in complete control, and out of nowhere, the AI just flipped the switch. And you'll have games like these. I've had games like these, and I often talk about it. And the phrase I'll use is the AI going from ultimate to super ultimate, and that's what I mean. Like in the first half an hour, it was like all Wales. We were leading by 2, and then out of nowhere, the switch was flipped, and I couldn't stop them coming forward. They made it 2-1. They halved the deficit, and I was thinking, what? Where has this come from? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like Belgium's older brother picked up the control, and I couldn't stop them, man. Openda denied by Price once again here with a minute to go in the first half, and it was just wild. Like, we were dominating in complete control, and then out of nowhere, I'd say at the break, we were lucky to still be leading after a late flurry of chances. So up by a goal, Belgium cutting the gap to 1 before the break, and in the second half, I was thinking, right, I've got to get another goal, man, because Belgium are going to score at some point. You know, they've got 1, they'll get a second not before long. I need to restore our 2-goal cushion, and we would as well. 6 minutes after the restart, our first chance and a half, and who gets the goal? 4th of the campaign. Super Gavin Humphreys, captain, leader, legend, and we're 3-1 up and our 2-goal cushion restored. Whenever I need a breather, whenever I need a goal, whenever I need a hero, it's either Rabbi or, well, more often than not nowadays, Gavin Humphreys. 3-1 to Wales. Finally, Openda will get a goal here. with 27 minutes to go. He'd taken about 94 shots in the game, maybe a bit of a slight exaggeration there, but taking quite a few shots in the game, and finally he got one to find the back of the net. Little dink up into the air for himself, and then a volley put past Price to make it 3-2, and an absolute thriller of a quarter-final. Thankfully, with 25 minutes to go in a goal fest of a game, it died down and we held on for the win. This was such a tough game as well. You know, you see the XG here, ours was 2 higher than Belgium's, but I'll be honest, the stats were very similar. I really feel it could have gone either way. That was such a tough quarter-final, and the trend continues. We've won 4 games in a row, but they've all been by a single goal, and we still haven't kept a clean sheet. It's been such a tough Euros, but it's our best finish at a national tournament in Wales history, and there was still a chance we could reach the final if we could come through these guys in the final 4, and it was fitting who we would face. After they beat Romania, it is time for England. Yep, could not wait for this, and despite my own nationality, I was not going to go easy in this game. Nope, I wanted this. I wanted this so badly. After winning the treble with Newport County, I was thinking with our first national tournament, our first European Championship, I should say, after our World Cup 2 years ago, getting through to our first ever and Wales' first ever national tournament and knocking out England in the process. This would be a fantasy. So heading into the game, England, of course, one of the favourites to win the national tournament. Obviously, they were Euro 2020/2021 runners-up to Italy. Well, it would be all those years ago in the game, of course, but for us just last year. And just like against Belgium in the early stages, I went at England. I was all out attack from the very first whistle because, well, you've seen it throughout the competition so far and the series as a whole. I can't defend, I can't keep clean sheets, but I can score a lot of goals. Dean Henderson made a couple of great saves. We were still tied at 0-0 at this point, and then 15 minutes in, after a really bizarre sequence here, God knows what's going on, Henderson made another brilliant save as the Red Devils shot stopper was frustrating the living daylights out of me. So we were still tied at 0-0. 22 minutes in, England only had really one chance in the first half. That header there put wide, as we were still tied at 0-0 and deadlocked. And half an hour in, as neither nation was able to break the deadlock so far, Lloyd sends the ball through to Ray Matondo down the right hand side. John Stones catches up, but Matondo beats him with a stop, the scoop turn, and then finally, at the 4th time of asking, we beat Dean and find the back of the net. I was thinking, do you know what? Just blast it, just absolutely blast it, because he's saving everything, but surely if put so much shot power on it, he won't have a chance to react on time. And as Rowley gets around John Stones with a scoop turn here and smacks it in near post with the weaker left foot, it's in off the crossbar, Tony Yeboah style, and it's 1-0 Wales. And finally we'd beaten Dean Henderson. I was thinking, okay, alright, other than one chance England had, we've been in control. And to be honest, my defence in the first half was really good as well. For England's high-powered offence and so many great offensive pieces they've got, they just could not break down my back four. I was really in control defensively in the first half. With 5 minutes to go before the breaks, Lloyd sent down the right hand side, gets in behind Luke Shaw, whips across to the back stick. Dan James leaps like a salmon and heads in at the far post to make it 2-0. And I love this celebration. I've got to remember this one as well. R1, flick the right stick down twice. Dan James and Lloyd, the wingers, the Newport County wingers, linking up for our second goal. What a cross by double Lloyd, and Dan James with an absolutely brilliant header for goal number 4 of the Euros, I believe, already. Wales 2, England 0, and in the first half we're being dominant. I was going to get a third goal. This game's over. And I thought I got it as well. This was so funny, man. Like, I took aim with Rabbi about 25 yards from goal, and I saw the back of the net bulging after the ball hit the stanchion at the back. I thought it clipped the post and went in first time. I dropped the controller and went, yes! Oh, no. I realised that I put it just wide. But to be honest, man, I'd absolutely dominated this game. We were leading by 2, but I'll be honest, had Henderson not been great for between the sticks, had my finish been better, we'd have been 3 or 4 goals up. But I knew the third goal would come in at some point. And ladies and gentlemen, you've just seen it, and you've just seen the best goal of the Euros. 26 minutes on the clock. He's been the best player in the tournament, and he's the best player in the world. And I'm going to call him one of my best, if not my best, youth player ever. He's a distance specialist. He scored some amazing goals from range. He's my best long shot taker ever, and I stand by that. And this is absolutely glorious. Super Gavin, Humphreys, Ben's one round Dean, and finally it is all over. We are heading through to the European Championship final, and I loved it as well. Like, in the most important game in national team history, against great rivals England in the Euro semi-finals. Well, I say my best performance with Wales for my most important game. Yep, with all the games we've had with Wales in the World Cup 2 years ago and in these Euros as well, this was the biggest, this was probably the toughest, but it was also my best as well. Absolutely dominated, really turned up in this one, 3-0 the final score, and Wales are heading in to the Euro 2028 final against, I would say, the favourites, Italy in the final. They're the only team that have had a lead against us in the Euros, and will take on, I would say, the favourites in the final, Italy. But that will end today's episode of CNC, guys. Massive thank you for watching. Enjoyed it. If you haven't, please like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the Euro 2028 final with Wales' first ever national team final against the favourites, Italy. Can't wait. Very soon.